All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is, and right here, right now, we are live in full effect with one of East Coast's finest hip-hop groups. We got the one and only, we got Boston, Massachusetts' own, we got the Massholez right here, live on the Canadian FM dial. How are you guys doing this evening?
Good, brother. Massholes in full effect. How you doing, DJ Immortal?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great down here in Canada, just dealing with a crap storm of different kinds of weather down here, man. I don't know if you guys ever visited Ontario, but it's one day it's raining, the next day it's snowing. You know what I mean? Mother Nature can't make up her mind down here in Ontario.
Same here. That sounds like out here in, on the East Coast, here in New England. Sounds the same, man.
But I know, some individuals down here in Canada might not know exactly who the Massholez are. So if you don't mind me asking, if you can introduce yourselves individually, and of course, tell us a bit more about you guys individually.
My name is MG. I've been involved with working with Filthy Rich for about 20 years. We're best friends coming up. We actually met on a label back in 2000. I think it was probably 2000, 1999, right around there. And there's probably like 4 or 5 of us on that label that kind of all joined together, and we created a couple different groups. Really, the ones that came out of it was UFC, which is Unified Fractions Click, and that's really with Nate, who does a lot of our production. He really started that. That's how I got involved with Rich, and we just kind of went from there. And then he worked for me in some businesses that I had owned and managed, and we kind of continued doing music, and it just continuously getting better, and we kept meeting the right people. And the thing is that we have so many children. I have 4 kids. I was a father at 14 years old. I was a parent again at 16, 22, and 27. So by the time I was 27, I already had four kids. So, music was on the back burner because I was an entrepreneur. Business was on the forefront. I kept continuously doing it. But every time we did it, we just kept getting the vibe and people was feeling it. And, there really was no dislikes. So if you look at our songs, you see a lot of likes, no dislikes, a lot of comments, and we just want to put out music that people vibe to because we have that continuous 90s flow. We from that 90s era, so we stay in that lane even though we love what's popping now. I love what you guys are doing. Like, I love that you have internet access. I love the whole creation of the show. I was born in 1977. I'm 44 years old, forever young, but I've lived 4.5 decades at this point, and I've experienced a lot in life. And what I know is there's millions of people my age that love this type of music, and I know that the young groups feel it the same way. And I just think that it's a good opportunity for us to continue with hip hop straight from Boston. Like, I'm from here. I'm from Boston my whole life. I live in East Boston, Revere, and I love hip hop, and that's my story. I'll pass it over to Rich. Hang on one second. Yeah, Filthy Rich here from the Massholes. People don't know I DJ as well, so been DJing ever since I was 13 years old. I use nothing but vinyl, you know what I mean? So that's part of the whole regime that we got, got to keep hip-hop alive with the vinyl. We've been doing this forever, man. We've been doing this 20 years altogether. We've opened up for DOS Effects, 7L Esoteric, Mr. Lift, EPMD. You know what I mean? We've done a lot of stuff back in the day. We continuously push music. But like everybody, we got families, we got mouths to feed, you know what I mean? So family, most of all, is important. But music is a passion that we've always had our whole life. So, it's something that we breathe, it's in our blood, and we're pushing to the forefront and bringing hip-hop, back to where it needs to be, you know what I mean?
But also as well, when you guys actually brought up a few moments ago about the Unified Fractions Click, I was actually wondering, man, for the listeners that don't know, can you tell us a bit more about this iconic group? And of course, what actually made you guys decide to venture off and actually start the Massholez and kind of leaving UFC?
So we never left. We just kind of changed names, as we got into, different times in our lives. We would kind of just, change the name of, what we were doing. At one point, we were Prolific Entertainment. Then Rich and I did some solo work, and then we worked with Nate, Blizzy Beast, and Steve Picardi, and different producers that we would, all get involved with at that time. And, like I said, we're 44 years old, so some of these people bow out. It's like, think about the NFL. Not every running back's going to go Emmitt Smith length. You got guys that go 3 and out, and that's kind of what happens is these people fall off. But Rich and I just kind of kept it going.
And then you got Brady, the GOAT, someone like that likes to keep it going forever. And we're the people amongst those, wolves in the game that just keep running with it and keep going with it because we got the passion, you know what I mean?
And also, as well, when you said you guys opened up for EPMD, I have to ask, did you guys ever get the opportunity to meet them before or after the concert? And of course, what was it like meeting them if you did actually have the opportunity to do so?
We got to meet with DOS Effects and stuff like that, so we were able to, chop it up with them for a little bit, but, they were doing their thing, kind of, wanted to do their thing with the girls and try to bounce to the hotel room, so... we let them do their thing. We chopped it up, gave them love. They showed love, respect what we did on stage. And, it was a blessing to be there that day. And that was at Salem State University. And that was, I think, 96, I want to say.
And also, as well, in the year 2017, you guys actually released a self-titled album, the Massholez, via SoundCloud. I was wondering if you can actually shed some light on this phenomenal project, and of course, is it still available to be streamed or purchased today?
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you a little testimonial about that album. So we put it up on SoundCloud. Now that album was produced by, we have tracks by UW on that. We have tracks by Production Profits from England. All the mix was from Nate Tobin, and he's in the Massholez. So we had a huge motivation on that project. But going through that project, Nate ended up getting diagnosed with cancer, and he's a medical marijuana grower already. He was in the military, suffers from PTSD. He's a vet, so he got his grower's license, and he was also a professional fighter. He ended up breaking his collarbone, and in that process got diagnosed with cancer while they were checking his collarbone. And he decided not to go with chemo, use something called Rick Simpson oil, RSO, and he knows how to make the process of it. And he cured himself with cancer in 9 months, and he was in a stage 3 level. I just don't know which particular cancer he had. I forgot, so I don't want to quote it. But now he's one of the top medical growers in the country, and that's at the Bakery Genetics.
Yes, Bakery Genetics, man. Big shout out to Bakery Genetics.
Yeah. So that album got put on hold because he had cancer. Then we ended up releasing it under an album called War Cry, and that's streaming on all major platforms, iTunes. It's under the Massholez, the THE Massholez, Massholez. And you can get that Spotify. It's on YouTube. Our videos are on YouTube.
Every major platform.
Yeah, every major platform. So you can definitely go check us out there. If you don't want to pay for it, we understand. We put it on YouTube. You know what I mean? You can stream it,
download it, buy it, whatever you want to do. Just spread the love. That's all we ask for. This is real hip-hop, and it's going to stay alive for life.
Yeah. And we appreciate you guys because, look where it's got us. Putting this album out has me on this interview with you, and, it's a blessing to be on there. So
yeah, Outlaw Radio.
Yeah, 100. Like, we want to let you know, like, we appreciate you. I love that Mass Appeal track just before coming on, that Gangsta. We had some NWA, that Big L joint.
Rest in peace, Big L.
Yeah, I like how you guys deliver your music. I love your interviews. I love the people you get on your interviews, and that's not kissing your ass, man. You guys really, really, really go back to the roots where I come from seeing these interviews and these people on your interviews brings back memories, and that's what we really appreciate about what your movement is, and that's what we love about what your movement is.
Hey, man, I gotta say, I definitely appreciate the love, man. Me personally, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I do what I do because every time, before I started my radio station, I used to always turn on the radio, man. And, like, nothing on this new music, but I'm an old head, man. I like real, rugged, raw music. I like boom bap. You know what I mean? And you'd hear all this mumble rap, all the auto tune, and it's not hip hop. You know what I mean? They would come on the radio and say,
Right,
"Yo,
right.
here's some new hip hop," and I'd be like, "Man, fuck that. That ain't hip hop." So that's why I started what I started to keep real hip hop alive. So, I play real stuff.
Yes, you do. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Definitely.
If I tell everybody that I know that if you want to hear, and I'm from Boston, there's a lot of Massachusetts radios, there's a lot of web in the United States that do what you do, but now, I'll be honest, 100%, you do a phenomenal job of how you put it down. Your presentation is great. I think your questions are awesome, and you run a good show, and you're going to continue to grow, and that's a fact, because you got the recipe. I can see it, and people like me and my generation, there's a whole bunch of us that want to hear it, and I'm sure that there's a few people listening right now that might be tuning in that we might have got tuned in tonight, and man, I really appreciate what you're doing for this music movement, man.
And thank you for not playing the same 10 songs as every other station out there. Appreciate that on the way in.
To be honest with you, man, if you actually sit back and listen to it all day, I can guarantee you won't hear very many doubles. I think I got about 900 to 1,000 old school hip hop joints actually in rotation right now.
That's the way to do it, man. It's love right there.
But also as well, you guys have also done some phenomenal work with fellow MC by the name of, and I want to say first and foremost, if I do get this name wrong, my sincere apologies, but Zizzy Kizzy. I was wondering, how did you guys actually get connected with this phenomenal artist? And of course, what was it like just working in the studio alongside him?
Well, the thing is, with everything going on, COVID and all that kind of thing, based on everything, dealing with the production profits, they did everything as far as getting everything together, making everything work, and, coordinate everything. So we weren't able to, make everything all in the same studio, but we were able to collaborate and make a great masterpiece for everybody. That song specifically, "Gotta Find My Way Out," is about a best friend that's actually, was locked up, just living. He's back again. God bless him. I love him to death. You know what I mean? But, he's just lived the hustler life, and you know what I mean? So he's trying to grow up. You know what I'm saying? So, so that song's for him. It's a real close friend of mine. We love him to death. You know what I mean? So
that song was actually produced in England. It was
right. Yeah.
We recorded it in Boston, and it was recorded in New Mexico, and it was mixed in New Mexico. So that thing was worked on in multiple studios, coast to coast and overseas. So we all coordinated and quarterbacked that situation well on that.
And to make it a masterpiece.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that song.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And also as well, man, March 17th of 2021, you guys actually released the album War Cry. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about this phenomenal record, and of course, where can we actually buy or stream it today?
So as far as the album War Cry, beautiful masterpiece that we put together. Again, we have a lot of different producers on there. Again, we have Production Profits on there. We got UW on there. Blizzy Beats we got on there out of the DX. We got Beethoven on there. And it's just a great involvement and group of people to get that together. So as far as that itself, you can go stream and download and go to every major music platform at the Massholez.hearnow.com. Again, the Massholez with a Z .hearnow.com. So you can go on there, stream, you can download it, Apple Music, everything's on there where you can go to. You can check us out on Instagram at the Massholez with a Z as well. Make sure to follow us. We know we're doing big things. We respond quickly. We're about spreading love. You follow us, we're going to follow you back. That's what it's about. We got 2 tracks coming out right now with a big producer, C-Lance, that produced for Mercules. He's working with a lot of different people. R.A., the Rugged Man. He's doing a lot of big stuff right now. Works with the Snow Goons. So he's doing a lot of big things as well. We did some work with Track Pros as well, so we got a lot of stuff coming out. But it was a great project that we came out with. Everybody's loving it. Nothing but great feedback. A lot of DJs are loving it. People are just appreciating what we're bringing back to the game, and that's real hip hop. And it's a blessing to hear the feedback. It just makes you want to keep going. Like I said, Maddie said we 44 years old right now, but we feel like we 21. Like we're like machine gun, Tommy guns, just keep spitting. You know what I mean? It's like we love what we do, and it's competition and it's love. You know what I mean? So. A blessing to be able to keep doing it at our age and not get sick of it. You know what I mean?
And
he also got Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say my favorite song off that record, man, is actually "Gotta Find My Way Out," man. I love that song when I listen to that. When I listen to the War Cry record.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful song. Kizzy had some great vocals on that. That brought it all together. And it's just, it's a song that you can pump on the radio, and it's a real message, you know what I mean? And it's something great that people, you got your friends out there, you know what I mean, that make bad decisions. They're really good people, but they make bad decisions. So, like we said in the song, we want them to find their way out. You know what I mean? There's shit better out there than to be sitting in the pen locked up for no reason just because of dumb decisions, It's time to move forward, be positive, and we're going to help them, find a better path, and that's what the song is about, to help them. And like he brags to everybody about it, you should hear him. You got to send me the link again. Send me the link for the song to play it. I got to play it for this kid, that. You know what I mean? So it's a blessing. It means a lot to him. It's something warm in his heart, that's always with him. So it'll definitely put him in a better place. So.
And also as well, man, October of this year, you actually dropped the Lost in Memories remix. I was wondering what actually made you guys decide to remix this phenomenal song. And of course, where can we actually check that out if we haven't already done so?
So right now, that you can find strictly on YouTube. It's a remix track it's free, and they can go right on to the Massholez, Massholez, and Lost in My Memories remix, and they'll be able to pop it right up. Yep. And then subscribe to us, and then we put out quality. We don't put out a lot, but we put out consistent. We put out quality. We want to give a shout out to Docs from Move Music in Brooklyn. Docs is unbelievable. He does it all.
Yeah, Doc.
Yeah, music. He started with music. Now he created his own company where he does, recordings. He does photography. He does phenomenal video work. And he shot both of those videos. Listen to the Sound, which was filmed in Brooklyn. And then we shot the second one, obviously, in Boston with a theme to it.
And Listen to the Sound, when that was shot in Brooklyn, that was the day of DMX's funeral. So we was out there in Brooklyn with DMX's funeral, and it was a blessing that day to be part of the energy out there. So to make that happen. So shout out to DMX.
And also as well, tomorrow night, December 11th at 7 p.m., you guys are actually going to be performing at 1413 Alfred Road in Maine. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about this phenomenal performance, and of course, where can we actually snag ourselves some last-minute tickets if we're going to be in the Maine area?
I think at this point the best thing to do, because it has been a sold out event. They might be doing some sales just there, but right now we probably sold that out in a very short period of time. It's not a big location. Rich is from that area. That's where Rich is from. So it gave us an opportunity to bring some love back, and it's going to be a phenomenal event. And yeah, the best thing to do if you're from the Maine area, unless you want to fly in, no, we'll be going hard body, but come to the door, and if we can squeeze you in by law, we'll squeeze you in. We're bringing masks just in case.
And also as well, there is some ticket scalpers out there, but make sure if you do resort to the ticket scalpers, make sure you buy real tickets and not fake ones, man. Them motherfuckers be straight up hustling sometimes.
True.
But I have to ask, man, other than War Cry and, of course, your performance tomorrow night, what is next for the Massholez, man? Is there anything I happen to miss during this interview? Anything else you guys still want to talk about or promote? Well, we still got you here live on the Canadian FM dial this evening.
I mean, right now we're working on a YouTube project. We went through a bunch of different producers on YouTube. We found some YouTube beats. We did about 12 to 20. We're going to put out a six pack album, and the best 6 tracks, and that's where that Lost in Memories video is from. That kind of is headlining it. So we put that out. So look out for that. We're also going to be putting that up on YouTube for free. It's a big YouTube project. And, we got a new album in the works. We got some big things, 2 Sealands tracks, some Track Pro stuff. So watch out. We got Massholez 2 coming out, and look out for that within the next few months.
And also, guys, this is the time in the interview that I give a chance for the individuals that slide through the radio station airwaves, just like a chance to give, shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to, but most of all, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything Massholez if they're not already doing so.
Yeah, right now, really just at the Massholez on Instagram. Again, the Massholez, TheMassholez. Facebook, the Massholez. We both can. Yeah, Spotify. That Rich, give that breakdown again.
Yeah. So to go to everything on all major platforms, the easiest way to do it is you can go to each platform and type the Massholez in. But the Massholez.hearnow.com, you can actually go to that link and you can actually click on any media platform that you want to go ahead and stream or download the album. So we appreciate all the fans downloading the album, supporting the love, because we just keep it coming. It's a movement, so it's going to keep striving.
Yeah, I'd like to say big up to my family, big up to God, number one. Who you believe, how you believe, it's all in the same mix. My daughters Julia, Marina, my sons David, Justin, my wife Cher. To all my great friends. I have Lance, Courtney Matthews, part of Dipset, so I get connected with him, and he connects me to the stars. I live a phenomenal life. I'm an entrepreneur. I want for nothing. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm already reaching to the stars. The music is just another way for me to reach out because we do it at such a high level. It's worth the investment for your ears to listen to, and big up to Ray Blast, Docs from Brooklyn, and let Rich say his shout-outs, and appreciate your time.
Yeah, Filthy Rich here. I want to first give out a shout-out to God. I want to give a shout-out to my wife, my beautiful wife, Erica. I want to give a shout-out to my son, Devin, and my son, Bentley. I want to give a shout-out to my mother and father, rest in peace, up in heaven right now, enjoying this interview. I want to give a shout-out to my real friends out there. All you suckers, you guys can just, sit back and watch everything happen. I want to give a big shout-out to all the hip-hoppers out there, people that keeping hip-hop alive. A shout-out to all the real DJs out there, like DJ Immortal, keeping everything alive, keeping that hip-hop striving. And that's it, man. And a big shout-out to Bakery Genetics, a big shout-out to Natoven, a big shout-out to Blizzy, a big shout-out to Doc, Move Media, Felix Natel Jr., celebrity photography. We worked with him many times and are going to continue to work with him. If you don't know him, he's worked with everybody in the business, from sports to rappers to models. I'm talking the biggest of the biggest. He's worked with them all. So just, that's really it. Shout out to Sealands. Who else can we get out there? A shout out to Omniscient the God, Doug Wiggins. What up? Kirk Campbell, DJ Captain Kirk in the house. That's really it. And a shout out to my brother Liddy Lid, locked up.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, guys.
I'm sorry. Real quick, I gotta give a real big shout out to my brother Roger, DJ Roger Grenia, and his wife Crystal Grenia. I gotta give a big shout out to them.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, guys, thank you so much for just taking the time out of your busy evening and sliding into the 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM airwaves, man. It definitely was an honor and most definitely a privilege, guys. Blow the roof off the joint tomorrow night, and hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon.
Yeah, we'd love to, brother. Appreciate you.
Hey, man, I
Everybody
appreciate.
follow the Massholez, man. The Massholez with a Z. Google it. We're out there. Let's make it happen. Let's keep this moving alive. Hip hop for life.
Most definitely. I definitely agree with that one, guys. Thank you so much, and definitely have yourself a wonderful night out there in Maine.
You too.